Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Queenie. For those who don't know me, reviewing Married at First Sight Australia, season 13, episodes 3, 4, and 5. I am so sorry I was not here. Guys, multiple daily shows at one time is not for the week. And then Love is Blind is supposed to come on Thursday. I'm actually going to implode. But anyways, we have a lot to get into. So before I get into it, please make sure to like this video, subscribe and hit the bell, hype up the video, and leave a comment down below. So we're going to start with all the marriages first, and then we're going to head to the honeymoon content. So the first couple to be paired up is Beck and Danny. From the little intro videos, I was like, I don't think these two are gonna get along.
I don't think I'm a 10 out of 10 by any means at all. I've worked on my body, I've worked on my health. I definitely walk through life now thinking and feeling that I'm beautiful, and I've never felt beautiful before. Laughter's really important to me in a relationship. There needs to be a little bit of, like, you know, banter.
I've been described as a geezer. She's got to have a good sense of humour. Taking the piss out of each other, that's the kind of thing I want.
From the beginning, to me, Danny gave very unserious, and he was not helping his case, because when he's asked why he wants to get married, he says, oh yeah, you know, my mom's been nagging me. That's your reasoning? Your mom's been nagging you? Oh my gosh. It's like those guys who say, oh, I'm the last of my crew to get married, so it's now time to settle down. Ew. You don't even have a brain of your own? Oh my gosh. So initially, I was thinking, this guy's probably going to say something out of pocket. Beck is going to feel triggered. And it doesn't help that Beck has insecurities that stem from not being the most attractive person, or like feeling like she's not the most attractive person. Also being heavier set when she was younger. She recently lost, I think it was about like 45 pounds or something like that. So she already has this complex walking into the marriage. I feel like there's going to be a clash, and sure enough, there was. Then the experts also say that she's prone to self-sabotage. I'm like, yeah, it's a wash. We fast forward to the wedding, and it turns out that one of Danny's friends is a professional Channing Tatum impersonator. Not gonna lie, I wasn't seeing it at first, but then I was like, oh, he kind of does look like him.
She's stunning, yeah, she's a gorgeous girl.
Normally the guys I date are a bit shaggier. Has anyone ever told you you look like, what's his name? Have you seen that stripper that's making heaps of money?
That's him.
You slept with my friend the other night.
I didn't recognize the bride, so that's all that matters.
The good thing is Mr. Channing Tatum did not sleep with the bride, so this was a good icebreaker. But as Danny is saying his vows, he talks about being a wild child in the past and making a joke about potentially having to be bailed out of jail. And she's like, This gives me the impression that you are not serious for marriage. You have a past that could creep back into our future. I'm not really trying to deal with that. So throughout the evening, she's thinking about this all evening. At the photo shoot, she's being very short with him, and he's confused because he's like, I actually like this girl. I thought we had a good connection, and all of a sudden she just turned cold towards me. She then explains that she wasn't feeling his vows, and she feels like he will still be prone to want to party or get up to whatever his friends are getting up to, especially because one of the friends is a stripper, right? And he's like, it literally was just banter. I'm not that person anymore. For one reason or another, he felt like that life was no longer suitable for him to live. So he claims he has turned over a new leaf. Only time will tell regarding that. But either way, she is reassured from that conversation. And at the reception, he even goes to her parents and reassures them that he is in this process for the right reasons. Yeah. And he claims that he will not hurt her. Just remember that. The next couple to get paired is Chris, the self-absorbed skeptic, and Brooke, the model.
There's a reason you got experts.
Experts in relationships.
If that's a qualification. I've made a lot of enemies. I don't hide my thoughts or the person that I am. Looks and attraction for me is important.
So good. Oh my God, you actually look so good.
I will voice my opinion and I will be direct. You know that you're not everyone's cup of tea, and that's okay. I think in life you don't get places if you're not strong.
Now, at first, when it comes to Chris, I was thinking it is so unfair to cast him on the show, because you have people who have kids, who have businesses that they own, or even just taking out all this time to be away from friends and family and your regular vices and your comfortabilities, to be in this process with somebody who's a skeptic. It's just not fair, right? The good thing is his skepticism stops at the experts. And I'm like, okay, I'm not too mad at that. He says he still wants love. He still wants marriage. He's very hopeful that that's something that he gets to experience in the future. It's just the process and the experts who run the process that he gives a side eye to. And I'm like, okay, you know what? That's not too bad. I'm hoping that he is truthful when he says he's hopeful for love to find him in the experiment, because Brooke has had a bad experience with almost all her exes. She's been cheated on by damn near every single one. And I'm hoping he is not added to the list of men who've done her dirty. So Chris, with his self-absorbed self, is like, oh, what if I'm not attracted to her? What if she's not my type? What if she's not whatever? And the producer talks to him, and it's as if he never thought there would be a world where the person who he's gonna be married to would not be attracted to him. It's like, no, the attraction is only gonna be an issue on my side. And it's like, sweetie, you're not creme de la creme. And even if you were, there's always somebody who's not gonna be attracted to you. So like, get your head out of your ass. Like, what? Are you okay? Anyways, at the altar, obviously this man is attracted to Brooke, but Brooke, she's like, I mean, we can make it work, I guess.
When you saw Brooke, I thought, not too bad.
Yeah, not too bad.
Tell me what you think of Chris.
Where's the inches?
I'm 6'4". Oh, she's wearing heels.
She's making you feel like a little bit like you're doubting yourself.
I'm not doubting myself at all. I'm charisma healed. I don't doubt myself.
When the bridesmaid initially walked down, he thought that was the bride, and he was like, not really my type. Then when the bride walks down, mind you, both women were beautiful, but when the bride walks down, he's like, oh, I mean, she's all right. She's all right. We know that you are dribbling from the mouth looking at Brooke. Be so for real. And we know that because he was fiending for a kiss afterwards. He was so upset that he didn't get to kiss the girl. He keeps talking about how he's dated models in the past, so this just means nothing to him. And again, he was like, well, what if I'm not attracted to her? Instead of being concerned about the fact that she too is a little bit weary when it comes to her attraction to him. So I'm like, sir, you ain't slick, okay? He did talk about his skepticism, and I actually think I relate, because he says the success rate for Married at First Sight is really low, which it is. And then he also says that the experts get their credentials off of a cereal box, which I feel is very disrespectful. That's disrespectful. But sometimes when the experts give advice, I'm like, huh? I don't know what would prompt you to say that. That's crazy. Or sometimes they hold one person accountable for something that they don't hold another person accountable for. They give the wrong people so much heat, and I'm like, okay, there's an imbalance here. I'm very confused what's going on. So I can understand why he is skeptical. But when it comes to Brooke, the man is about to be humbled. Okay, his ego is as big as a house, and she is ready to knock it down. She's like, one thing you're not gonna do is act like a pompous fool, not in my marriage. So I'm interested to see how this goes. You can clearly tell this couple is just here for banter. I'm interested to see how this conflict is going to continue, because you can see that they will be rubbing each other the wrong way. Not like anything explosive or toxic, but just little digs, little, you know, going at each other a little bit. Something that's supposed to be banter, but it ends up being offensive. I could just see that between them. She becomes a little bit softer towards, what's his name, Chris, at the reception after she speaks to his parents, and they say, listen, the bravado, it's just a facade. You have to look past that and see that he is really a sweet person. So she's like, okay, I might give it a chance. But on their wedding night, they did sleep in separate beds, completely separate rooms. So yeah, it's looking like it's gonna be a rough road for these two. Next is Rebecca and Steve. They are the mature couple of the season, but honestly, I have really high hopes for them.
I am a Cree woman and I'm really driven. Can be a bit lonely at times. My son Austin moved out about four or 5 months ago. I always thought that I'd have that white picket fence, always. I want my silver fox.
I've owned pubs, restaurants, cafes here and on the Gold Coast my whole life. It is about good times, good food. They have to be a foodie. They've got to enjoy a drink, have a laugh. Now is the time to find someone to share my life with.
Typically, the older couples come in being so difficult, especially their man. They're so set in their ways. They don't want to compromise. At the first sign of trouble, they're always just at each other's necks. And I'm just like, Like, why did you even come here if you weren't going to be willing to see the experiment for what it is? But these two do seem to be hopeful for the experiment. They seem to be optimistic that they'll find love here. So I am excited to see their connection. They both have already established themselves. You know, I think there was one guy, was it Tony? I forget his name, and I forget if it's Australia. But there was one guy who was in his 50s or something, and he still wanted a child. So thankfully, these two have already had their kids. They've lived their life. They literally just want somebody to settle down with. So there is potential here. At the ceremony, they're both very nervous walking in, but he was able to calm her nerves. And I don't know, I loved how sweet this whole ceremony was.
Hey, how are you?
Now I'm like, don't know what to do.
She's beautiful, beautiful woman. I'm attracted to her.
Silver fox, very happy, very happy. Whew.
Finally, huh? We're here. Deep breaths. No good.
The way Rebecca was smitten from the jump, I was like, I don't even blame you, sis. I don't blame you. The man is fine. He seems to have a gentleness about him. He's a girl dad. Like, ugh, come on. Even when it comes to her laugh, she is, woo, she's a laugher, okay? Her and what's the other girl? Rachel, two peas in a pod. After he got over the initial shock, was like, I love how unique it is, and she's just so bubbly and joyful, and I'm so excited to get to see where things go between us. Like, it just seems really good. My only hang up is that his name is still Steve, short for Steven, and I have yet to trust the Steven. The next couple we have is Stella, who is the daredevil from Lithuania, and Phillip, who is not a stranger to humble beginnings.
My family and friends sometimes call me feisty because I don't take bullshit. I'm confident in who I am.
Born in Croatia, we came to Australia when I was 1. So I do personal development coaching. Knowing that you're making a difference, I love it. I used to be a little bit of a party boy, wasn't ready to get into something serious until now.
Literally not a negative thing to say about these two. I love that both their parents are still together and they serve as an example of what marriage could look like, and they both look up to their parents' marriages, so that's good. Not to say your parents have to be married in order for you to, you know, be successful, but it is nice for them to have a direct example they can look to. Yeah, even at the altar, they were immediately attracted to each other. They were gushing about the fact that they're both morning people and they love the gym and whatever. I'm like, oh, this is great, right? They seem very well suited. After the ceremony, though, one of the people on Stella's side was side-eyeing Phillip because in his vows, he referenced his career goals and his different achievements, and it sounds like he's here for clout instead of being here for love.
Just meant to be.
Just man.
You left me wanting more for sure.
I'm getting funny vibes. There's something that's not really gelling with me.
No.
It's not a vibe. He was really emphasizing about his YouTube and his online thing. Is he here really for true love? I'm waving the red flag.
Phillip, it's looking a little bit fishy because, yeah, why was that part of your vows? You know? Don't get me wrong, everybody's here for clout. Everybody is here for clout. Don't be mistaken. Do not be fooled. Everybody on all these shows is here for clout. But you're going to take the opportunity in your vows to talk about your YouTube channel and your men's health, whatever business stuff. The vows are supposed to be about the journey you're about to embark on with your spouse. What is this about? So with that, I understood Stella's people. Where Stella's people lost me was they have this tradition in Lithuania where you take a shot and it has to do with salt and all kinds of stuff. And this is all symbolism, right? And so for Phillip, he is somebody who is very into men's health. And so he tells people not to engage in certain things like drinking. And he's refusing to drink, even though it's a cultural thing. Can you imagine he's actually being judged, not by Stella, but by people on Stella's side because he's refusing to take the drink? What if he was an alcoholic and he just didn't want to let y'all know? What if he was an alcoholic in the past and he's currently on his sobriety journey? What if it was health reasons? What if it, I just didn't appreciate the fact that they didn't accept his no as a no. I get that there's cultural ties to it, but even culturally, some people refuse to drink. So like, I don't know what's going on there. Even one of Stella's, I think it was her friend, she went up to the guy and she was like, are you really here for the right reasons? Because why would you talk about the vows thing, and why wouldn't you engage in her culture? Basically making it seem like him saying no to the shot was him trying to maintain a specific image so that he can continue to boost his career on the show. And I was like, yeah, that's where y'all lost me. Because whatever the rationale is, if the man doesn't want to take a drink, he doesn't want to take a drink. Let it be that. The last couple to get married is Julia, the bisexual, and Grayson, the guy whose friend was already on the show and actually was successful.
Through a lot of my life, I didn't feel very comfortable in my skin. I just didn't know who I was.
Realize, like, actually, this is a part of me.
About what?
About potentially being bisexual. Really looking for someone that knows who they are, someone that has got their shit together.
One of my best mates, Johnny, was a part of the experiment. He and Kerry are now married with a beautiful family. Yeah, well, Mum, I mean, Johnny and Kerry have had success. What I've been doing hasn't been working, so...
The experts say that they looked for candidates that were both male and female for Julia, but Grayson stuck out because his values seemed to match her the most. He also has faced adversity because of all these injuries that he had because of football and not being able to go back into football, and he would relate to certain adversities that she's had to experience throughout her life and the fact that they're both resilient because of their past, whatever. So when they meet at the altar, Julia's concerned that she might not have an immediate spark with the person who she's going to marry, but she did have one with him, so everything is great, right? Fast forward to the reception. Julia is concerned about her bisexuality. Obviously, we live in a world where people are homophobic or bigoted and stuff. So her saying this to somebody who's unaware of this, it might be an issue. And I'm thinking, respectfully, even if Grayson was not okay with it, he would be an idiot to say that on national television.
Hardest thing about dating me? This is a tough question. I'm actually bisexual. How does that make you feel about my bisexuality?
Oh, I don't think about it at all. Cool. It's not... Great. Doesn't bother me whatsoever. Yeah.
Cool.
Grayson seemed to be very receptive to the fact that she was bisexual. He hasn't been with someone who was queer before, but he doesn't mind being married to one. He says he actually sees her in a better light because of it, because she is able to look past gender and actually fall for somebody for who they are instead of just how they present. So yeah, he actually sees that as a positive. I'm interested to see how they're going to shape this narrative, because typically when there's somebody who is bisexual, they try to make it seem like this person is promiscuous or has a wandering eye. So I'm like, is that the trope that they're gonna try to perpetuate again? I hope not. But I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they do. On to the honeymoons. We have David and Alyssa. David is enjoying his time in the snow, both literally and figuratively. He's enjoying his time with Alyssa, and honestly, they do look really cute together. They only had one little bust up where he fell in, the steam room or something, and he busted his knee open, but she is a nurse, so she was able to help him, and he just felt like, wow, it's really nice to have somebody who's very nurturing as your partner, so they're doing very well. We have Mel and Luke, who slept in different beds at the... No, this wasn't at the honeymoon. They slept in different beds during the first night of their wedding, but then they slept with a pillow wall in between them on the honeymoon. She's just being very blank to him. She doesn't really give him much energy. She seems very disinterested, and I'm thinking, okay, I do understand the man was chewing gum during the vows, the man showed up late and stuff, but the least you could do is try to, you know, work your way up from that. It should be only up from here. And the fact that she's not giving him any thing to work with is a little bit frustrating. And in the preview, it looks like she's going to be able to open up and come out of her shell when she's around the other people. And I'm sure that's not going to feel good for Luke. So yeah, it's not looking good for these two. Gia and Scott, they are cuddling up in bed, but they have not consummated their marriage. As we know, Gia has been abstinent for a while, and she has learned from her past that she needs to focus on emotional connections instead of just running with the physical. Scott, however, is struggling. The man is looking at this girl like she is hot as ever, and I'm trying to have a piece of that, but she is holding strong, so we'll see how long that will last. Then we have Steve and Rachel. Things were actually going well between Steve and Rachel until this conversation about sports. So he's surprised that females, he's surprised that females are as big of fans of as sports as males are. Mind you, this is his verbiage, okay? Y'all know I don't speak like this. This is his verbiage. And so he now tries to paint this girl as this rowdy sports fan, and she keeps saying, that's not me. Stop saying it.
When people get really passionate about sports, they just turn into,
No. I don't want you to put that on me because that's not what I'm like. I'm concerned you're creating this picture of me.
I'm sorry you feel that way, but also as well, it's just bantering. And even if you were like that, don't give a shit.
It's hurting my feelings. I'm telling you I'm not.
It's just a joke. I mean, there's no malice behind it.
Him being like females this, females that alone was pissing me off, because enough, I am a woman. I also am one specific woman. So talk about what I'm telling you, not whatever trope you're going to put over women in general or whatever ideas you have about women who love sports. Are you okay, Steven? What makes it worse is the fact that she keeps saying, hey, what you're saying is making me uncomfortable. Please stop. He's going to continue. At some point, the joke is no longer funny. And I can understand that he was just trying to poke fun. I get that. You have to realize when to shut it down. Like, she's clearly uncomfortable. She's not only showing that she's uncomfortable, she's telling you that she's uncomfortable. Shut the joke down. You thought it was funny. She doesn't think it's funny. End of story. Now you're causing more harm because you don't know how to control yourself. You don't know how to maintain boundaries. Sweetie, no, absolutely not. And I knew I shouldn't trust him because his name is Steven. Lastly, we have Beck and Danny. My. So, Beck and Danny actually had a great first, 2 days, you know? The first night, the night of their wedding, they were sleeping together in the same bed. They were cuddling and all that stuff. They were very attracted to each other. Great, right? Then on their honeymoon, they actually consummated the marriage. She thought it was great. Him, not so much. And he's like, in as much as I am physically attracted to her, I don't think we have sexual chemistry. So because of this, he's starting to pull away from her. Obviously, she's feeling the distance, and she's internalizing this because of her insecurities. She thinks, oh my gosh, I am the ugly duckling. My husband is not attracted to me, blah, 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 blah. Because of these feelings that she's feeling, she's now going to project, and she's going to accuse this man of having a wandering eye for some random lady on the honeymoon.
Did you want a triple take on the girl that you've been staring at all day again?
Are you serious?
I'm serious. 100%.
I don't even know what to say to that. When did I supposedly look at her?
You watched her run past our villa this morning. You watched her at breakfast.
If I look at that palm tree 4 times, does that mean that I'm looking at that palm tree?
Okay. I'm crazy.
You know, it's very confronting seeing somebody exhibit behavior you used to exhibit and you think, oh, that's how I looked, huh? Dumb as hell. Dumb as hell. Okay. Yeah, because there was a time when I would project that stuff too. I ain't even gonna lie. I ain't even gonna lie. And seeing it in 4K, I'm like, oh, yeah, it's not a good look. So this man is like, I literally don't know what you're talking about. What women are you referring to? Who have I been staring at? What's the big deal? So on the one hand, I'm like, okay, you're obviously in your feelings because he has pulled back his affection. Understood. but now you are projecting things that he didn't say. So she's saying, oh, I feel ugly. Maybe he's looking at me weird because of how I look in my bikini and stuff. He did not say any of this, not to our knowledge. So you're putting things on him that haven't happened and he hasn't said, which is not really fair. And now you're accusing him of something that he is denouncing, which is also not fair, right? The other part of me is like, well, you could be picking up on something that is true. And based on the preview, it looks like it's possible that he does actually have a wandering eye. And so if that's the case, keep an eye on that wandering eye. Absolutely. I would say don't keep dredging it up, because they even had a moment where they decided that they were going to move on. Don't keep dredging it up, because then you're going to make it worse than it needs to be. But definitely keep your eye on the situation, because it's sounding like you could be picking up on something that's there. You just need a little bit more evidence. You know, don't project, but also collect that evidence. When they had that moment of trying to just skate past the situation, I wish he would have taken the moment to validate her feelings though, because she is saying she feels a way about him pulling away, and she feels like he's looking at this other woman. He literally could have said, I'm so sorry that you're not feeling comfortable in your skin right now. I'm sorry that you feel as if I'm not giving you the attention that you need. This is something that I am going to work on. I hope you give me the opportunity to show up better. Like, there were so many ways to validate her feelings. You can just denounce what she's saying and still give her comfort. But then again, I'm like, would that be a lie? Because based on the preview, it looks like you would be lying. So yeah, it seems like he has an eye for another bride. If I'm to make a guess, let me guess. Who would Danny be into? I think either Brooke or Alyssa or Julia. I feel like he would go down that road. I'm most leaning towards Brooke. But yeah, we'll see. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.